drop. That's what I've been noticing, and it doesn't sound as squelched or pinched off at the top, so it sounds really good.
Thanks.
And that's excellent. All right, let's
I've been
do.
doing some personal work.
Well, it definitely shows that you've been working on it. Okay, let's see. Do I want to work up more towards the top? Let's do some runs up and down the piano. So okay, here we go. Sorry, that was my mistake there. Make sure you're thinking of going through the note as opposed to popping the note and then coming back down, because you can easily go through the note and back down again. So just think of it as going through it. Okay? The high C sharp. These are good because they sort of make you lose track of what the exact notes you are singing, because you just sort of start going, okay, I know it's a scale going up and then down again, as opposed to just little 5-note things. So if you run the 9-note scales, you're more apt to just feel like you can go over and through the note and then back again. I found those helped me when I had to start singing higher, because you start feeling like, oh yeah, it's like you feel like you get a running start, but it's more like a run than a leap over the note.
Yeah, and now we've got all these like high runs on the top of the scale for some of our pieces.
Absolutely, because you're doing the Messiah stuff. So yeah, it's actually very good. No tiring vocal exercise. Okay, let's do some sustain exercises here. I'm actually going to start a little bit higher than I normally do, because I think that will. last time, and that's really improved. Is to figure out what to do with the ooh, because the ooh is kind of like, what do you do with that? Truth be told, you're not going to sing on ooh as a high note very much, but for the purpose of exercises, or let's say you get a contemporary composition that does have it ending on ooh, just remember at the end, I usually, instead of doing a closing to a diphthong or something, you'll just do just throw a little breath, throw it away, and in fact that works for most high notes. If you think like the diphthong is just going to sort of smash the end of it, then just push it away with a little bit of air, and the acoustics of the room will usually take care of the rest.
Okay.
With high notes, I mean I guess I would say with like mid to upper range. I mean your lower range, you can use the diphthong, that's fine. But in the higher range, just push out with the diaphragm, and then you'll get your diphthong courtesy of the room.
Cool.
All right. Good. Excellent. It can be more towards a neutral sound. The higher you go, the more the vowels will start becoming more open and more neutral. I mean, up in my range where I start getting in the cover, ooh is more I'm trying to think, E becomes a little more into it, a little more open. You just have to facilitate the sound. So long as when you're singing up really high, you're approximating the actual pitch, or first of all, not approximating the pitch, approximating the vowel. You don't want to don't approximate the pitch. Yeah, exactly. So you're approximating the vowel, and we have an idea of what you're saying, and that's what we're generally looking for. Choir singing a little different. They're going to be real picky about that. But for solo singing, you're going to have it so that it's both comfortable and able to be understood. If it starts wearing down your vocal cords, say, all right, I think I should modify the vowel a bit so I don't kill myself.
Right.
And, getting through the song is the first thing you want to make. Freuden soll das sein. I think instead of thinking of, or I shouldn't say on the high notes, when we are moving, you need to think more of phrases on the
Okay.
piece. Freuden soll das sein. Sorry. Freuden soll das sein. Blumen Himmel soll hängen und verkünden, etc. When we're doing the piece, because otherwise you're going to cut your breaths kind of short.
Okay.
So take a breath before each phrase. In fact,
Okay.
you have the little eighth rest in there to do
Right.
it. Let's see. Oh, doch muss sein und mich ewig freuen und mich ewig freuen. So that's what you want to do with that.
Okay.
Just do the phrases as written there. In fact, it can help sometimes just to speak it out. I used to think that was a technique. I was like, I'm not going to speak it out because I'm going to sing the whole piece.
Mhm.
Well, lo and behold, the text is originally written by someone else.
Mhm.
So, if you go up into the librettist book, you can see it. It would be it Goethe or somebody else. So there is a flow to the text. We often don't think of it that way because it's not our native language. But just as you were to say, I'm trying to think of something. Well, I don't know, anything that was set to text. All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. Monkey thought it all was a game. Pop goes the weasel. So you wouldn't, someone who didn't have English as a native language might sing that less into. Like, for instance, have you ever heard something sung phonetically by somebody? Like, you've heard a Western piece sung phonetically by someone who wasn't their native language, and you're kind of like, sort of, but not
You're
quite.
this over weird, but that's the end of the sentence.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you're trying to do with this. You want it so that someone, you always will have a slight accent when you sing it because German isn't your native tongue.
Right.
But when you're singing, you want it enough that someone says, oh, she knows what she's singing.
Yeah.
As opposed to, she's singing it phonetically.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not even in some ways talking about knowing word for word what everything means, but I'm also talking about understanding the overall flow of the language. And that's Freuden soll das Saal, blühen in Himmelssaal, engern und verklärten, wie die Väter lehrten. Because of the Umlaut, Väter lehrten. Oder möchtig sein, und mich ewig freuen, und mich ewig freuen. And you can even sing it like Sprechstimme is. Schoenberg had this, Arnold Schoenberg, the composer, had this interesting way of doing music where the singer, instead of actually singing, would sort of like approximate pitches. So it'd be like, verklärter Untersein, something like that.
Kind of like jazz, how they all sing it differently.
Actually, yeah, in some ways, yeah. But it was the idea of something in between speech and singing. So when you go through the music and you do Freuden soll das Saal, Blumen Himmelssaal, Engel und verklärten, wie die Väter lehrten, oh, das möchtig sein, und mich ewig freuen, und mich ewig freuen. So it's sort of still within your language, and that helps you phrase it, and it won't feel totally out of place.